Odyssey to Dominion.
After Nytri had a dress-up marathon with Era, she went to sleep, but this time her body seems to be responding to Earth's clock, so she doesn't wake up in the next 10 minutes while she has a dream. In Nytri's dream, she's in a dark place with barely any light. Some rock formation like pillars scatters around the space, as the ground is mainly just a hard rock. Nytri looks around her, as her body feels heavy. She senses a presence before her. The evil god comes before Nytri, and he is furious. There is darkness all over the place, and it was only Nytri and the evil god as well. Nytri looks at her body and finds blood all over her body. Her stomach is perforated with blood flowing out as some of her bones are broken. Evil god roars across the place.
You dare refuse to submit?
Nytri forces as she glares at him.
I'll never submit. I'm not going to be anyone's puppet.
Evil god face twitches with rage.
You dare to speak to me like that? You are nothing. You hear me? Nothing.
He attacks Nytri with fire. Nytri dodges to the side and uses abyssal magic. Abyssal lightning. Evil god laughs like a bad guy.
Ha 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 ha. Your attacks are nothing compared to mine.
He raises his hands as the scattered rocks in the room floats in the air along with Nytri. Nytri changes her arms into giant whip-like claws and digs them into the ground before pulling herself down. He points his finger at her as the rocks fly at her. Nytri's wounds are covered by dark, thick mesh of hardened skin, stopping the bleeding. Nytri's thoughts.
Abyss magic. Abyssal earth wall.
A black wall rises from the ground and had traces of dark aura around the wall. The rocks slam into the wall like bullets as Nytri stays behind it for cover. Nytri yells from her cover.
If gods truly exist, then why am I suffering like this? Why do I have to live in this miserable life all this while? And you just conveniently show up when you have use for me.
Rather than tears, her eyes are filled with rage, hatred, the urge to kill. Evil god snickers.
You have no right to question the ways of the gods. You will submit to me or face the consequences. Dark magic, dark spears.
Spears of pure darkness formed around him and shoots towards Nytri's wall. Nytri digs into the ground and evades the attack as the spears penetrate the wall like butter. Nytri's voice echoes from all over the place.
I have already rejected my fate. I will live my life on my own terms, not yours or anyone else's.
Nytri's thoughts.
Damn, I can't activate my clones or summons. He's completely suppressing me. Poison manipulation, aerial poison synthesis, speedy charge, claw strike.
Poison starts to spread from her across the area. Her speed increases as her claws have soft glow. Nytri charges at him, and too fast for her to notice, thinking he wouldn't also notice. She swings her claws down, and he catches it, then throws her into the wall. She gets up quickly as the evil god looms over her, but she doesn't give in. As they fight, Nytri utilizes her abilities to try and overpower the evil god one way or another. She creates bolts of lightning and blasts of wind to strike at him, but he is too powerful. He retaliated with beams of dark energy that shook the very foundation of the place. The evil god's name is Zareth, a being of immense power and arrogance. Despite Nytri's best efforts, she is no match for him. He knocks her to the ground and stands over her, his eyes glowing with malice. Zareth grins.
You are nothing, Nytri. A mere mortal, unworthy of even standing before a god such as myself.
Nytri coughs blood.
I may be mortal, but I am not powerless, and I will never submit to someone like you.
Nytri's thoughts as she activates a skill.
Shadow lurk.
She sinks into the ground and escapes from him. The fight between Nytri and Zareth is intense, as Nytri uses her abilities to fight the god. She moves quickly, dodging Zareth's attacks while throwing her own powerful strikes. However, Zareth is no ordinary opponent, and he's able to block most of Nytri's attacks. As the battle continues, Nytri began to tire, and Zareth saw an opportunity to strike. He unleashes a powerful blast of divine energy that knocks Nytri to the ground. Nytri struggles to get back up, but her body is weak from the fight, as she is drenched in blood, her own blood. Zareth points to his feet.
I am patient. I will teach you to obey me.
Damn you!
With a final burst of energy, Nytri summoned a surge of power that engulfed them both from the ground. Nytri's thoughts.
Abyss magic, zone expansion, energy manipulation, energy zone, energy concentration, fury.
The area around her is filled with abyss energy with Zareth inside. She uses her energy manipulation to concentrate as much energy as possible and uses fury to cause damage with the energy in the area and her own EP as fuel for continuous damage in a bright light. As the light fades, Nytri finds herself lying onto the ashes of a strange shrine, then surrounded by strange and fearsome clouds of monsters. She looks around, bewildered, as she sees red skies and creatures. The creatures approach her slowly. Nytri coughs blood.
Cough! Cough! Red skies. Danger. Everywhere. Too weak. To heal.
She lays there for a while, as the monsters stared at her with bloodshot eyes, as if waiting for something. Nytri tries to get up.
Clones. Cough. Help.
Immediately the clones appear. The cloud monsters moves as her clones scatter to protect her. Nytri finds herself standing despite her injuries and fights the monsters. Yet she is outmatched just as she fought the evil god, Zareth. Nytri fights back as best she can, but she is outnumbered and outmatched, facing thousands of these cloud monsters, who pounce on her as she raises her hand, trying to grasp for breath with the sounds of her bones breaking. She wakes up, gasping for breath, and realizes that it was all just a dream. She got up from bed with a sleeping Arab beside her, and she goes to the balcony. Nytri looks at the stars.
I can't believe I'm dreaming of that bastard after all these years.
Her sharp teeth show up as her bloodlust is spread across the whole world, making the stars flicker. Luckily, no one is strong enough to sense it, but some saw a red light flash across the sky like an aurora. AIA wakes up and sees her mom, but she goes back to sleep. Nytri rests on the balcony.
Sigh. There's no need to lose my temper. After all, I have his head in that space.
A sadistic grin appeared on her face as she continues.
Unworthy of facing him, huh? My kids were the ones to teach him a lesson for that day. It was so funny how he cowered when he heard my name. I guess that time I let loose and did more than I expected. I did kill more than half of the gods after all. Revenge often affects others. But so far no one dared to avenge them. Maybe because I took the heads of all his family and my fireborn dragons wiped his people out. Ah, those were the fun days.
The memory of Zareth and their battle stayed with her, reminding her of the dangers that she faced in the dungeon. She was still shaken by the intense battle. She takes a deep breath and tries to calm down, reminding herself that it was just memories. Nytri shakes her head.
I wonder, when did I become like this?
Nytri's voice answers her in her head. This is her spirit speaking to her.
When a bunch of idiots tried to fight us and we taught them just how scary we can be.
Ha 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 ha. I guess that explains how I got the nightmare title. Sadly, I gained that title from terrorizing monsters. I wonder what would happen if I used it on the gods.
Ha 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 ha. Let's leave the what-ifs for the false reality.
Era's thoughts as she's trying to sleep.
Mum's talking to herself again. I wish I had met this Zareth guy. I would have made a wonderful painting of him with his blood.
In an alternate reality made and stabilized by Nytri, a giant living tree stands in the middle of a vast land surrounded by rivers flowing to and from the tree all over the entire space. It would have been a breathtaking sight if only the rivers weren't made of blood. There are big and small fruits of all sizes on the tree, and all the fruits are heads of people, gods and monsters. These heads belong to all the people who got on Nytri's bad side. As this space by Nytri's wish grants immortality and constant healing, but Nytri erased their bodies from existence, meaning no matter the healing spell used, their body will never return because it never existed. Hollow cries and groans could be heard around the place, as they didn't even have throats to scream, let alone beg for death. This space was the last place anyone who ever passed through Nytri's hands wished to be. There's only one way out with two methods. If Nytri remembers that she has created this space, then this space is linked to the outside world, making it possible to move out. And the ways are, if Nytri herself removes you, or you reincarnate your soul when she opens a way to the space, freedom is possible if she doesn't catch your soul and dump it back into your head. In any case, Nytri hadn't remembered about this place, and they have been like this for 400 years.